Sephora stores are everywhere you are. So just pop in when you need a brown lip to match your 90s playlist. A confidence boost before your interview? Or a last-minute gift for mom's birthday. There's always a Sephora near you. Just pop in. Use our store locator to find your local Sephora or Sephora at Kohl's.
Everything you learned in history class was a lie. Well, maybe not everything, but they skipped the best parts. Introducing Stupiracy, where stupidity meets conspiracy. Ever heard of the Olympic marathon that nearly killed its runners? Or the time a pope put another pope's corpse on trial? Join me, Scott Rizzuto, and Tim McKernan as we uncover the most outrageous historical moments and mind-blowing conspiracies you won't believe actually happened. Tune into Stupiracy for your weekly dose of historical absurdity. Available wherever you get your podcasts. Remember, history is dumb, but laughing at it is smart.
And now, live from the TCL broadcast studios, it's Joe Souchere and Patrick Royce with Sports Talk.
Yeah, the Boston Herald's now running pictures of
his brain.
The brain
Hernandez's
pictures
brain.
released from Boston Hospital, and even a layman can see that Aaron Hernandez was missing a lot of brain tissue.
So it turns dark, right?
Well, this was it was gone.
It was
Either
gone.
that or dark. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he was just a charming guy who ended up getting running his helmet into too many tacklers.
I don't know.
I wonder if it's all football or if some of it's degenerative too, because he was so young.
Well, he could have started in high school having these things, right?
Yeah.
College.
Yeah. Well,
Where did he play? Florida.
He had some incidents in Florida of rage also. So, well, I guess this might help him get the insurance money, right? For
I have no
the
idea.
family.
I have no idea. They must have donated his brain to science.
Yes, they did, and. So
What's new?
He made sure to shoot. He must have shot himself somewhere that didn't destroy his brain then, huh?
I guess so.
Or no, he hung himself. That's
yeah.
right. He hung himself. That's right. Since you took the curtains out, I no longer think of that when I that sagging curtain. I always I don't know why I made that correlation, but it probably says more about me.
Well, your mind is an interesting.
Than the curtains. Yes, it is. Meanwhile, other football news: Ezekiel Elliott's suspension has been upheld. He won't play Friday. They don't think there's anywhere for him left to go to get the emergency halt on this. So
Meaning he won't play Sunday.
He won't play Sunday. Yeah, he won't play Sunday. And that means 6 games. How many have they played, Reavers? 9 or 8 or 9?
They've played 8.
They've only played 8?
They've played 8, yeah, because they did have a bye week.
Hey, Reeves, there's a game tonight. How are we doing on our picks? We got 'em in?
We're rolling, baby.
Who we got?
We got the Seattles at Arizona.
Well, once again,
That'll be
now
a
that you
barn
bring it
burner.
up, I forgot to pick out the 5 games for the Thursday +4 contest.
Now that you bring it up.
Tell Manny Hill we need a Manny Hill update. We might have to get Rick to participate as our outside guest.
Rick,
again.
that first-timer?
He did pretty good. Rick did
I
pretty
think he won a keychain, if I'm not mistaken.
He did win a keychain.
Let's see. How are the standings here? Let's see how we're doing.
I'm not doing well because I'm pouting because I forgot to do it 3 weeks ago, so I haven't done them since.
Got it. Murph was the big winner last week with 8 points.
Okay.
And then a bunch of also-rans. But overall, who is the
I'm
leader?
still in the lead.
Judd has 60, Manny 62. I've got 61.
What
Looks
do
like
I got?
Judd
Joe?
missed a week, and he's got 60 already. Judd was 1-14.
Reeves,
one
did we
week.
miss a week?
We did miss one.
What am I, Rook?
you are, Suchi Boy is at 39 points. Reavers at 36.
God, have I fallen.
Mackey's at 7.
Judd must be a picking machine since he went 1-14.
Nice job, Reavers.
Yeah, Judd's at 60. He had 7 picks last week, so he was doing well.
Did you see where Trump was playing golf with the Prime Minister of Japan, Abe? And he's looking around for him. Abe fell into the beach, deep one. Nobody saw him. He's down there flailing around. He fell into the trap.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Little fella?
Well,
Is he a small guy?
well, yeah, but I mean, little enough to fall into a big trap, I guess.
Well, what the hell?
Does he look like Kilroy when he was just over the edge trying to get out?
Like this.
You didn't read the Politico piece on Johnstown, Pennsylvania, did you?
I don't know what that is.
It's Politico is a website.
No, I know that.
They did it. They had gone to Johnstown before the election to find out this old Democratic place that had now turned fully Trump supporters because he was going to bring coal back, and it's very interesting.
The point being
good.
what? They're
They're
turned
still
on him?
no, they're still hardcore, and they even though they admit that they probably didn't expect him to reopen the steel mills, they just like the fact that he said he wanted to. So. But it's really good. It's well done, and it's done even-handed. It's not a big left-wing hatchet job or anything.
Well, he
like
still
that.
might open him. He's got 3 years to go.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't make a lot of economic sense, but that's okay.
Well, yeah, I suppose we can get cheaper steel from China.
Yeah, or any other place.
Yeah. Well, let's put tariffs on that and
Yeah. Okay.
do our stuff.
Well, anyway, it's interesting. Read it. It's because nothing is Donald's fault. So nothing that it's everybody else's.
Of course
fault.
not. No,
Yeah, okay.
That's his modus operandi.
It's very good. It's really well done.
The local clubs lost last night, Pat.
Yeah, well, we got a goalie who can't stop a beach ball. As they
What's
used to
wrong with
say.
Dubes?
I don't know. You know what? There's about 8 good ones, and everybody else is like relief pitchers. Some years they're good, and some years they're terrible. You know what we have? We got 22 Brandon Kinslers being goalies. You know, they get them out this year, but maybe not next year. So it's this guy is, man alive. He's terrible right now.
And now they got to go right back at it at Montreal.
Yeah, well, and against Charlie Lindbergh, Lakeville, Minnesota, St. Cloud State, and a shutout in his last outing, 2-0 shutout of the Chicago Blackhawks.
Really?
He's not been their regular. They called him up to because obviously they got the good goalie, Carey Price, but they're going to give him another chance, and he'll get to play against his home state team tonight. Probably a Wild fan as a youth.
Yeah, maybe. Well, of course he would have been. Yeah, yeah. They're just average team. There's 22 average teams, right?
Yeah, there are. I mean, it's you either got a guy or you don't.
Right.
You know who's this Austin Matthews that didn't play last night? He must be a guy. He's got 19 points in 10 games.
He's a guy.
They say that he's might be just as good as McDavid.
Is he upper body or lower body?
Upper body.
Upper. That could
It
be
was
anything.
funny as the Mike Babcock, who's a crusty SOB. You know, he was in Detroit forever, and he's now their coach. And the Toronto media does not give up. They don't, they take their hockey like NFL writers, right? They're very serious. And they must have asked him 8 times about what the injury was. And he says, upper body, day to day. Upper body, day to day.
Well, that could be head.
It's like, what's his name for
could be
New
anything.
England?
Everywhere. That's everywhere from your head to your navel, isn't it?
Yep.
What's the breakoff point? The navel?
I got to think
That's
the
still
waist.
upper-
The waist, yeah.
Me could not really be upper body, could
What's
it?
a hip?
No.
Lower body.
It's above the ankle. Upper body.
Hips, lower body.
Hips, lower body. Okay.
Anything below the waist should be lower body.
Why did they bother?
I don't know.
Why do they bother to say upper body or lower body? Why don't they just say none of your business, none of your beeswax?
Right. What does it matter?
None
He's
of your
hurt.
beeswax.
He's hurt. That's all I got to know.
That brings up another question. Why did our parents always say none of your beeswax? Where's the beeswax come from?
I'm on it.
It's a
None
good
of your
question.
Yeah, didn't you hear that when you were a kid?
Sure.
None of your beeswax?
Well, it has something to do with bees
There you go.
and wax.
Yes, that's true. Well, I just thought of none of your beeswax.
That's none of your
Maybe,
beeswax.
maybe your neighbor had a hive,
All right, here we go.
and you
Okay.
didn't want to steal the wax.
Okay.
In the 1930s, now it's a whole paragraph, so pay
Okay.
attention, boys. In the 1930s, a slang version rendered the saying as, quote, mind your own beeswax, end quote. It is meant to soften the force of the retort. Folk etymology, etymology has it that this idiom was used in the colonial period when women would sit by the fireplace making wax candles together, though there are many other theories.
So it's not supposed. It's supposed to be a softer version of None of Your Business. Is
Yes,
that it?
basically,
Right? Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Are you sitting there? Just mind your beeswax, and we'll
mind your
get going.
beeswax.
Go sit by the fireplace and
when
make
you
a
say,
candle.
and I think they're right, because when you say None of Your Beeswax, you kind of say it with a little touch of humor.
Rook.
When you say None of Your Business, there's kind of an edge to it, right?
Wax hands, all of your beeswax.
Yeah, all of my beeswax. None of your wax
We'll
hands.
mind your
No,
beeswax.
yes. Wax hands. We mind your beeswax.
Yes.
I'm going to have shirts printed up.
That's it. This will go. You might make more money on the T-shirts than you are on the hands, but that's okay.
I got investors.
Yeah.
Happy investors. I'm not here tomorrow. It's up to you to throw out I might do it today, but it's up to you to throw out a little salute to the USMC on their 242nd birthday tomorrow.
Well, we'll be live at O'Gara's for a Veterans Day show, and we'll do that
Yes, Lieutenant Colonel James Racey in the Marine Corps, 242 tomorrow.
tomorrow. Huh?
They're older than the United States of America. You know how I say I'm older than pizza?
Yeah.
They're older than the United States of America.
How
They
could that
started
be?
in 1775 while we were fighting the Brits.
I'll be damned.
Yep, they started a year before.
Were they called the Marines?
Yes, they were the Marines. Yes.
Huh.
So they started in 1775. And we started in 1776. So they're older than the United States of America.
The golf tournament this week is in Mexico.
Yes.
I think it's near the Cancun side,
Okay.
Playa something.
Yeah.
But they got
that's-
a decent field. Ricky Fowler and Retief Goosen are in the top three.
Now, on that coast, I believe you used to go to Cancun, right? Rook, you know this stuff. Rook, you know
He's on
this
the phone.
stuff. He's on this stuff.
He's on the phone.
There's Playa something
I can tell
that's
you.
south of Cancun. They've developed another island or peninsula or something south of Cancun. Back in the day, they started developing that coast. Cancun was as far as you could go. But
This is at Mayacoba at Playa del Carmen.
yes, I think
I have no idea
I think
where
that's
that is.
another stop down the resort road from Cancun.
All right.
A little further south, if I'm not mistaken, or a little further, maybe further out into the Gulf. I don't know.
The
Not
local
really.
airlines, does our hometown airlines fly to Cancun?
Yeah. I think the hometown airline's going there.
The one owned by
daily.
the Davis family?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not real certain. I know some people that work over there, but I believe that they do fly direct to Cancun.
And then,
I'll ask.
And then when you get down there, do you go to Playa, whatever, Del Carmen from there then? Is there a little hop over to there? 'Cause
Yeah, I don't know if you can, if there's those little planes that'll take you over there, but you're more often than not, you're going to, most people
drive.
just stay at Cancun or hop on a bus.
oh, you can, it's not a different island, though, so it's just part of the peninsula then? It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
further-
it's an extension.
Okay.
So
All
it's
right.
probably logistically easier to just go via the bus then.
How has that remained crime free?
I don't think it's crime free.
I think
don't
if you
it's
get out
as
of the
crazy
resorts-
as I don't think it's as crazy as the other places. But,
I mean, I'm speaking in terms of the drug lords. You know.
well, you can get
slaughtering
your drugs
on the
over
street.
There. You can get your drugs over there
can
in
get 'em,
Cancun
huh?
if you look for them.
I think you have to stay in the right spots. I think if you start going out, outside of the friendship circle,
Outside the fence.
you'd see some. You'll see some stuff.
Okay, I'm making notes here. So
Worse-
we're already
worse-
going to start the Technology Corner podcast. Now we're going to have travel talk.
Worse than the, worse than going out and running into drug lords when you get away from Cancun. Mm-hmm. When I was down there, we went to the ruins.
The Mayan
Those
ruins.
old ruins,
Oh, yeah.
ruins there.
They got them.
They did not have the good toilet facilities.
Oh,
Yeah, pretty much just had to do your business right in a little hut there with a bucket. And
maybe not even
the
a bucket.
guys didn't mind it so much, but the girls weren't real heavy on that. And
No, there was-
Mrs. Racey, in fact, announced this was the last time she was ever going to the ruins. She wants a toilet.
I can't blame her.
No, and not an outdoor one,
No.
an indoor one. where you can that has all the hygiene a person could imagine.
I think primitive. Primitive would be the key there.
Yes,
That would be
yes.
Tonight at
They
7
were
o'clock.
ruins,
Right.
You know?
Tonight at 7 o'clock at Chanhassen, Eden Prairie and Lakeville North.
We're going to find out who wants to play some football tonight, boys.
And
It's
at Park Center, St. Michael, Albertville, and Maple Grove. Tomorrow at Osseo, Minnetonka, and Prior Lake at White Bear
Come
Lake.
on, Lakers. We are the blue and gold gang from Prior Lake High.
Oh, you remember
I
the
don't
song?
Remember that.
And at White Bear
Then we go
Lake.
rah, 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 and that's about it.
And at White Bear Lake tomorrow night, Edina and Cretin-Derham Hall. Those are your 6A quarterfinals.
Where's Cretin and Edina playing?
White Bear Lake.
Ooh, that's a stupid place to have those two teams play. Man, they do some dumb things.
And then
Wait,
Thursday, November 16th, at U.S. Bank Stadium,
Then they get to go indoors
The-
next week.
Eden Prairie Lakeville North winner versus Maple Grove St. Michael Albertville winner. And on next Friday, Cretin-Derham Hall Edina winner versus Minnetonka Prior Lake winner.
There's no place, I don't think, in the Twin Cities, Woodbury included, Chanhassen included, booming like St. Michael, Albertville.
God, yeah.
It was a stop on the road.
Is that right
10
up
years ago.
past Maple Grove?
Yes, it's past. Yeah, it's up
Off
there.
94
Yeah.
in there?
I think I went up there when Matt Spaeth was playing for St. Michael Albertville, the tight end. That's what,
Well, that's a
15
long
years
time
max?
ago, yeah.
12 years. But it was, I think they were 3A, maybe, and they were small, and now it's a 6A school. It's just booming up there, and they're good too. This is their first year in 6A.
Are they considered a metropolitan suburb?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they are. They're. Is that still Hennepin County, or is that Wright County? Is that same?
I don't know where the
I
line
think
was.
it's out of Hennepin.
I don't know. We
It's
got
gotta-
a geography expert here, but you're only an expert on places that are flowing.
Right.
to.
More vacation destination types. That's
Yes.
that kind of stuff. I'm not going to Albertville.
Hey, what was the name of the place in St. Cloud that you used to do?
St. Cloud Holiday Inn Hotel and Suites.
And it was, and they had a pool there, right? A kind of a water park.
Oh, they had they had activities for any family that wanted to get away. And once it hit 11 o'clock, and they outside of the rooms, they have big tables. So all the adults are playing spoons or cards, and nobody is walking uphill. And it's close. Remember, a man once said, the endorser,
St. Cloud's only an hour away from the Twitties, the Twin Cities.
Where is it? It's from the Twitties?
the Twitties. Yes, the
Twitties,
Twitties.
right.
Only an hour
So
away.
an hour away from the Twitties.
I got to go an hour away from the Twitties for a football game on Saturday, and the bride might have grandkid duty. So
Wait a minute.
St. Cloud Holiday Inn Hotel and Suites will
You
will
used to do-
occupy the family.
Ads for a hotel in St. Cloud?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Dude,
only
that
an
was-
hour away from the Twitties.
Yeah, didn't you hear? I mean, it's so close. You know how I know?
St. Cloud's only an hour away from the Twitties, the Twin Cities.
Where is it? It's from the.
That had to be on a Saturday, right?
That was
you
on a
said
Saturday where
Twitties?
you were here, and I think I was on my way to St. Cloud.
Yeah.
And I did the ad live from the car on my
What
cell
game
phone.
are you going to tomorrow or
St.
Saturday?
John's Concordia.
Oh, yeah.
The winner probably advances to the playoffs and gets to play St. Thomas in the second round, and the winner, or maybe right off the bat, and then the loser goes home.
Drink Oak Grove eggnog, and you'll never drink eggnog
Oh,
again.
doggy, yeah.
Say
He was
sports-
excited. The Johnny just brought a punt back for a touchdown, man. He was excited.
I sure wish I sure wish Carl was here and he could call this joke in from my dad.
Oh, no.
A man comes screaming out of his hospital room.
Yeah.
The doctor says to the nurse, "No, no, 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 nurse. I said to prick his boil."
Okay.
That's great.
So Carl, unfortunately,
Al.
was not.
But
Oh,
Bruce,
No, Al.
probably
Al, we
liked
said
it.
turn the clocks back.
yeah, turn the clocks back.
All right, here we go. Thanks, Dad.
Sports talk will return, I hope.
I just want to warn you, there could be some hijinks in here today, even without the smiling usual traffic guy. The venison killer himself.
Here is John Hayes.
I can't believe he hasn't gotten one yet. What kind of hunter is he, for God's sake?
Lousy.
Bet he's got 3-4 coyotes, though.
Partly sunny, 21 degrees. Ezekiel Elliott, 6-game suspension. Back on. After the Second U.S. Court of Appeals denied his request for an emergency injunction at a hearing today in New York City. Series of injunctions and restraining orders have allowed Elliott to play to this point, but a 3-judge panel decided today another injunction wasn't in the cards for the Cowboys running back. The NFL Players Association source told ESPN that Elliott will not play, quote, while we argue. The court says the appeal will be heard on an expedited appeal. Wild lose 4-2 to Toronto last night. They're right back at it tonight, playing the Canadiens in Montreal. And the Wolves lose big to the Warriors last night, ending their 5-game win streak. They'll play the Suns on Saturday in Phoenix.
Johnny, I've reached a conclusion.
Yes.
The Wolves want to be at least a 7 seed. They don't want to be an 8 seed. They get beat by 25 without Durant on the court. That could be ugly.
Class 6A football tournament has a couple of games tonight as all the football playoffs start to get underway. St. Michael Albertville playing Maple Grove at Park Center High School, and Eden Prairie takes on Lakeville North at Chanhassen High School. And don't forget, you can catch all the high school state quarterfinal football games at the website www.prepspotlight.tv. All 28 games will feature play-by-play announcers and HD video.
That's amazing.
Cost
That
you
is
nothing.
amazing.
It's free, too.
Wow.
All free. News notes from today. I don't know. I have like 3 different sex harassment stories to lead the news today. Governor Mark Dayton and Lieutenant Governor Tina Smith joining Minnesota lawmakers on both sides of the aisle. They want a state senator to resign after accusations of sexual harassment. Several women are publicly speaking out, accusing DFL Senator Dan Schoen of sexual harassment. Those allegations surfacing last night after the women detailed stories in an article by MinPost.
What's Dan had to say so far? Nothing?
I think he denied them? But it was just a
Non-denied.
You got the Louis C.K. story?
I do, yeah.
Can I ask a quick question about the Governor Dayton or with this particular story? Why should it be up to him to resign?
No, and he's just recommending that he resign.
Well, that's my point. Why should it be why isn't he just being forced out? Is I guess my thought.
You can't force him out.
How would you do that?
Well, a governor has no control over the legislature.
He can't say you're fired.
He should be able to.
Well, no, he shouldn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that he could.
Okay, Mr. Gorbachev.
Yeah, exactly.
Take down that wall.
Now, the guy Trump's hanging with in China, he can do that.
He can do that. He can do that. If Trump was a nice guy, he'd bring those 3 UCLA basketball players back with him before they spend their life in jail for stealing expensive purses.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and other Republicans say Roy Moore, the GOP nominee in Alabama for U.S. Senate seat, should step aside if the Washington Post report that accuses him of engaging in sexual conduct with underage women is true. McConnell said in a statement, if these allegations are true, he must step aside. Senator John McCain of Arizona said in a statement that the allegations are deeply disturbing. He should immediately step aside, allow the people of Alabama to elect a candidate they can be proud of. Moore, though, told the Washington Post these allegations are completely false, a desperate political attack by the National Democratic Party and the Washington Post, and he called them, of course, fake news.
Okay.
Fake news. And the New York premiere of Louis C.K.'s upcoming film, I Love You, Daddy, was canceled due to, quote, unexpected circumstances. The New York Times has come shortly before the New York Times released an article in which 5 women accused the comedian of being sexually inappropriate with them. Comedians Dana Min Goodman and Julia Wolov told the Times that C.K. exposed himself to them in a Chicago hotel room.
Oh, no.
Abby Schachner shared a similar story with the newspaper, telling the Times she heard C.K. pleasuring himself on the phone when she spoke to him. And comedian Rebecca Corey said C.K. was inappropriate with her as well. A rep for the 50-year-old Louis star told the newspaper he's not going to answer any questions. In addition to the film's premiere sudden cancellation, his scheduled appearance on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert was also canceled. Not the first time the comedian's been accused of sexual misconduct. Gawker published an article 2 years ago detailing the same sort of allegations against Louis C.K. Driver of a fire truck who was convicted of killing 2 Michigan firefighters here in Minnesota in 2016 has been sentenced to 46 months in prison. 29-year-old Michael Johnson pleaded guilty in August to vehicular manslaughter charges. He's also sentenced to 23 months supervised release. Johnson, you might remember, was driving a fire truck from Michigan carrying 9 firefighters who were on their way to help fight a fire in Utah. On August 27th, 2016, he crashed the vehicle on 35W in the Blaine area. Authorities said they noticed signs of impairment and combative behavior from Johnson after the crash. He admitted to smoking marijuana and doing cocaine in the hours and days leading up to the crash. The crash resulted in the deaths of 25-year-old Alan Swartz and 23-year-old James Shelifo.
Where was I can't remember that story.
I do recall it.
It's a bad one.
It was in the news. The Dunn County Sheriff's Office in Wisconsin said it'll charge that pedestrian who was under the influence when he was run over by a police squad last month. Sheriff's Office said it'll charge 20-year-old Brett Schulte with counts of underage drinking, carrying a fake ID, and standing in a roadway. Schulte was run over while lying on the road October 15th by 38-year-old Police Sergeant Jason Barneson, who had swerved but was unable to avoid hitting him.
Did he die?
No.
Otherwise, they
being
wouldn't charge
I
you.
guess not. I guess not. Good catch. Good catch. Hank.
They brought the urn in and put it on the.
Isn't it true?
Yes.
Authorities said last week blood tests showed Schulte had a blood alcohol concentration of 0.195 at the time that he was hit.
Johnny, when I first heard about that story, I suspected alcohol might be involved.
I believe you said that on the air immediately as soon as we heard the story.
In Wisconsin, Friday or Saturday night, or Thursday,
Boy, we got an out-of-control Chinese space station that could smash.
Is this break glass, smoke lucky?
Yes.
Really?
Could smash into a major world city at the beginning of 2018.
Really?
2018, okay.
That's coming up shortly.
Very shortly.
How big's this baby?
European Space Agency said the 8.5-ton Tiangong-1, or Heavenly Palace satellite, could hit any spot between two latitude lines in the northern and southern hemispheres. ESA experts say the craft could crash into Earth's atmosphere at some point between January and March of 2018. The UK, according to the ESA's calculations, would be safe, but New York, Los Angeles, Beijing, Rome, Istanbul,
How about
Tokyo,
Fort Myers? I'm going to stay down in Fort Myers.
I think that's probably going to be
How about the Twin Cities?
I think that'll be in range, too.
How about an hour outside the Twitties?
Yeah. What about St. Cloud Holiday and Home Suites? It's about an
hour
hour
outside the Twitties.
Yeah, it's an hour from the Twitties.
The potential impact area is so large that residents shouldn't be too worried about impending death from above. Holger Krog, head of ESA's Space Debris Office. They have a space debris
I thought
office.
there was something you had to hold.
Hey, you holding your brog right now? Yeah. I got my brog.
If we see that coming, we're all going to be holding it.
He said, owing to the geometry of the station's orbit, we can already exclude the possibility any fragments will fall over any spot further north than 43 degrees north or further south than 43 degrees south. That means that re-entry may take place over any spot on Earth between those latitudes.
Well, how about an ocean? It could fall.
I
into
was
the
just
ocean.
going to say,
The
since we're
ocean.
casting such a wide net, it's going to hit
certainly
water.
Could. Yeah.
Yeah, hell yes.
Well, water's 75% of the Earth.
And 25% rook?
It's covered by Freddie Smoot.
The other problem is the date, the time, and the geographic footprint of the reentry can only be predicted with large uncertainties. So even shortly before reentry, only a very large time and geographical window can be estimated. So they can see it and say, yeah, it's coming, but
There it is.
we're not sure where it's going to end up.
I sure hope Freddie saved his money. You think Freddie might have blown a little of his money?
I was just playing dice. Who was the guy that was just playing dice on the boat?
Because Freddie had the contacts down there in Atlanta. That
Right.
Brought the girls to town.
Right.
Who was the Burke quote? Was "What's wrong with our hookers? Yeah, why do we have to go to Atlanta?
Why do we have to import?
But from what I understand, Freddie was a multitasker. I think Freddie could do a lot of stuff at once.
Oh man!
Well,
Greatest taunt in the history of football, though. Steve Smith rowing the boat. He ran
That
by
was the
Freddie.
first row of the boat.
Row the boat. That was the real row the boat.
Yes.
That's where Flex stole it from.
Yes,
I
right.
just don't get the whole thing on how cold it was. I just thought,
Joe would have been on top of the deck. Are we going to see the sights? Or are we going closer to shore?
Let's go in.
the temperature is too cold. Let's get the hell out of here.
What's she doing there?
Too cold to be out on a
Freddie,
yacht.
excuse me, walking down this stairwell. I gotta get out of the way here, Freddie.
Is John Hyde here?
Oh, I am. I was listening to the music. Sorry.
Hey, let me say this. Rick Stelmazik, some of his friends here, visitation Sunday, 2 to 8 p.m., Elmwood Funeral Chapel on 11/200th South Ewing Avenue in Chicago. And the funeral the next day at 10 a.m. at the Croatian church right next door. The Croatian, here, let me look it up. Let me look it up. No.
Huh?
Let me look it up.
Crozier?
Sacred Heart Croatian Parish on East 96th Street, and at 10 a.m. on Monday for Rick Stelmazik.
Okay.
There'll be some Polish and Slavic gentlemen at that one. Yeah. Sully and the boys from the bar might they might turn that wake on Sunday into a party.
Joe, I got one for your loose leaf binder here.
Yeah.
Police in Pennsylvania say they've arrested a man who showed up to an elementary school intoxicated, hoping to vote. Oh, you haven't even heard the best yet.
All right.
The day before Election Day.
All right.
Okay.
Authorities charged 34-year-old Douglas Shuttlesworth with a DUI after they found him at the school in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania on Monday. Police say Shuttlesworth appeared intoxicated. They later found out that he had driven to the school thinking it was the day he should be voting, which was, of course, Tuesday. A woman who identified herself over the phone as Shuttlesworth's mother said her son mistakenly thought it was Election Day. Shuttlesworth himself not available for comment. Now, the other thing about this story you may have noticed, they called his mother. Sounds like he lives with his mom. He's 34.
Oh.
Yeah.
It reminds me of when Riley came hastily racing into the Pioneer Press one Friday night about 8 p.m., thinking it was 8 a.m. Saturday, and he had to put the paper out. Wow. We said, "You're good, Don. You're good. You're good. You know, get a cab and go on home. You'll be
Jesus Shuttlesworth. That was Ray Allen's character in the basketball movie, right? Yeah. That was a good one. He Got Game, I think is what it was called.
Spike, right?
Spike Lee, yep.
In Salzburg, Austria, lampposts are being covered with airbags to stop so-called smartphone zombies from bumping into them as they walk around staring at their screens.
So you're going to ruin the beauty of the city to save some moron who's texting.
Yes.
Salzburg authorities say tourists are increasingly hurting themselves by not looking where they're going while checking their devices.
This is Monty Python.
Yeah. Locals have described mobile phone users as smombies, the short form for smartphone zombie.
There is nothing more satisfying, though, than watching an idiot walk into something while they're texting. Yeah. That's pretty fun.
I've noticed, the one I've noticed lately is people looking at their phone as they stand at a red light. The light turns green, and they just stand there. And
they got to finish that text.
Yeah. Did you see who ripped the phones yesterday?
No.
Pope Francis.
Yes.
He's sick of having people with cell phones during the height of Mass. He doesn't approve.
Yeah,
I did live tweet Mass last year in Fort Myers, but that was just because the priest making the speech sounded like the Count Floyd. So,
but Pat, I don't know if you heard the latest though.
Ooh, that mystery! What do we say?
Yeah, he did. He was a great guy, funnier than hell, but he sounded like Count Floyd.
The Holy Spirit.
Johnny, what was it that they're no longer going to sell cigarettes?
Cigarettes at the Vatican.
At the Vatican now.
Store.
It's $11 million in revenue for the Vatican last year.
Selling heaters.
Yeah.
A disturbing trend across the country as orthodontists sounding this alarm. Don't try to make your own braces at home.
Yeah. All right, I won't.
It's not like changing the sprayer on the sink, is
no.
it?
Well, for you, it might be.
In a survey among its members, the American Association of Orthodontists reports that nearly 13% of its members are seeing patients who have tried to do-it-yourself teeth straightening, and some attempts have caused irreparable damage. The methods and materials can involve rubber bands, dental floss, fishing line, paper clips, pencils.
Pencils?
You hang out right there, Billy Joe. I'm going to give you braces better than Dr. Ring.
Where do you put the pencil that would not create a gap when you're closing the other gap?
Apparently the danger with pencils, it says, is biting on them. So I'm assuming while the work is being done, they're telling you to bite on the pencil.
Telling the kids
if you're
to
doing
bite
it
on
at home.
Plus, you just double up. That can draw the lines where you're going to put the braces on.
Dr. Yugal Beal, a Virginia Beach orthodontist, told a local TV station, I think it's sad to see people trying to perform those do-it-yourself orthodontics using different things. He said he's treated a patient who tried using rubber bands to close a gap in the front two teeth, ended up causing significant damage. He said, we saw the rubber bands were inside the gum. It had caused so much bone destruction, she almost lost her two front teeth. Aside from gum infections, many DIY cases can lead to problems with the bone structure in
Do it
the
yourself dental.
Yeah, I'm saving you so much money.
Anybody ever take a kid to an orthodontist and not have them say, "Oh yeah, we got to do a lot of work here"?
No, your teeth look. I've never heard your teeth look fine.
Don't worry about it.
Kind of like going to the vet.
Don't worry.
Same
about
thing.
It.
Oh,
I had a
he's-
kid who had two sets of teeth.
Really?
So did Teddy Roosevelt.
So we just had to pull one of them out.
One set came out.
Ooh, that hurt.
I have of my 4 children, 2 have completed braces. 1 is in braces, and the oldest, who has a little tooth that's just a little out of place, we told her, the oldest, we don't have any money
You're
for
on
that.
your
So
own.
yeah, you're almost 25. You're on your own.
No, put a paper clip in there and you'll be
Right.
fine.
I said I can get a pencil. I can draw that thing right up. She declined.
A New Jersey diner is adding an 18% gratuity to the bills of children who go to the restaurant without their parents. Melissa Desch said she and her family have been eating at the Wayne Hills Diner and Restaurant for years, and she was surprised when her 11-year-old daughter sent her a picture showing a 90-cent tip was added to her milkshake bill. Desch doesn't think it's fair to treat minors different than adults. The diner's lawyer, though, said the problem, kids have been showing up in groups of 20 or 30, staying for an hour or two, taking up most of the room in the restaurant, and since they're kids, they don't leave tips. He says that's not fair to the waiters and waitresses. He also said the menu now clearly states management reserves the right to add 18% gratuity. Adding a mandatory tip to kids' tabs, another wrinkle in the ongoing and expanding debate about tipping. For instance, some West Coast restaurants now have 2 lines for adding gratuities, one for the server and one for the chef.
Oh, because they split the tips.
Exactly. And a suspect.
Shame on that. Shame on those parents that don't teach their children about tips. All my 4 kids said, "Hey, you go to the restaurant, you have to leave a tip, and here's how you figure it out."
5%.
Yep. You start at 5%, and they're really good. You give them 7.
At Archie Rupert's Cafe, we got to loiter around all we wanted to, and no problem. Archie didn't care.
Yeah. Same. Western Grill in Mandan, North Dakota. You could sit there and eat fries all day if you wanted.
Party.
Sounds like you guys are rowdy.
Look at this guy on the beach here.
Yeah.
That's quite an advertisement.
Is he hanging on to his hoard? What are we supposed
He's
to?
playing with a cormorant.
Hey now.
Whoa. On the beach alone?
Is that legal?
I don't know.
We've agreed that all things considered, we'd rather be wherever this is in Mexico.
Oh, man, it's gorgeous there.
Yeah.
Those greens look fabulous, too. It's
Yep.
still the growing season down there, isn't it?
Yep.
Man, alive, it looks terrific. So, my old pal, Master Tafasian from the Washington Post, helps cover the Redskins now. He used to work at the Star Tribune.
What's his name?
Master is his first name.
Master.
Yes, and Tafasian is his second name. And he's a great kid. And I'm going to talk to him about the Redskins about 4:40. Kevin Seifert, a little football. And then we're going to, break down the Wild and the Wolves and a lot of good stuff today.
Are the Washingtons any good this year, the
They're
Redskins?
4-4. They've lost a couple of nail biters. They're highly competitive mediocrity right now.
Mm-hmm.
Our boys are. I haven't looked at the number. It's got to be. I suppose
Here's
we're
a
less,
paper.
We're less than a touchdown favored, I would guess, in that game. So, anyway, that's what we got going today.
All right.
Tomorrow you're at O'Gara's. Good luck over there,
Yep, for
sir.
Veterans Day, 1 to 3.
All righty.
Brooke, who's sponsoring that tomorrow?
CenturyLink and O'Gara's.
CenturyLink at
All right.
O'Gara's from
Thank
1 to
you,
3.
CenturyLink.
Yeah. 1500 ESPN is KSTP. St. Paul, Minneapolis, the ride is next.